Hello and welcome to Beta64 Minis, where I discuss the complete known development of a video game in less than 8 minutes. Today we're going to be talking about Rhythm Tengoku, a Japan-exclusive rhythm game whose sequel eventually made it off shores as Rhythm Heaven, or Rhythm Paradise, or even Rhythm World, depending on where you're from. So, let's begin. Rhythm Tengoku was at first a very simple idea conceived by composer Tsunku, a rhythm game without visual clues to guide the player. While Nintendo accepted his proposal of the game, Osawa, the lead designer of Rhythm Tengoku, was a bit nervous. After all, since it was a new type of rhythm game, he had no idea if anyone was going to even enjoy playing it. Plus, the team was designing the game for the Gameboy Advance, while everyone was looking towards the Nintendo DS as the next great handheld console. Some even wondered why they were even bothering to make the game in the first place, since it would be releasing on a soon-to-be obsolete system. However, Osawa was intent on releasing the game for the Game Boy Advance, because of the system's small screen, and the fact that buttons are the only form of input. Plus, he had already designed the game around the Game Boy Advance and didn't really want to go to the trouble of redesigning it for a new system anyway. In order to help the team with their sense of rhythm, which is probably well needed for a game called Rhythm Tengoku, Tsunku suggested that the team should take dancing lessons together. So they all headed to Tokyo and did just that. In order to keep up his strength, Osawa even took energy drinks just to keep up because he felt so passionate about making this game the best it could be. In the end, it was all worth it because when Rhythm Tengoku released August 3rd of 2006, it was a hit. So much so that Sega came to the team with a deal, an arcade game. It turns out that the staff over at Sega was having so much fun with this Game Boy Advance game that they wanted to help release a port of it to arcades around Japan. At first, Osawa thought it was a joke, but after talking it over with the rest of the team, they decided to give it a shot. And in the end, it also turned out to be a major success when Rhythm Tengoku Arcade released September 20th, 2007. Now, moving back to the Game Boy Advance release, there's some unused stuff for us to take a look at. First, let's look at the game Tap Trial. In the final version, you should take note of the giraffe that appears on screen, which reacts to how you're doing in the game. As you may or may not know, there are actually many different times you play this same rhythm game in Rhythm Tengoku, 2 of which are in Tap Trial 2 and in Remix 7. In those games, the characters on screen may be different, but at least they're still there, right? Well, not quite, because the giraffe never makes an appearance in any of those successors. What happened to it? Well, we don't quite know, but it turns out that the sprites for those successors are still in the game, but they were never used. Here they are. It looks like the giraffe was originally going to be changed to a dragon and a camel. The dragon was for Remix 7 and the camel for Tap Trial 2. And just for knowledge's sake, the camel version is missing all of its sprites except for the sad ones, likely to free up space in the game. For the rhythm game Bunny Hop, there's some unused sprites for both the A button and the D-pad. While the A button is used in the game to hop, the D-pad was never used. In fact, there's really no need for the D-pad in this rhythm game anyway. So some suggest that it would have served the same purpose as the A button, just making the rabbit hop. Much like the game Rhythm Tweezers, where you can use either the A button or the D-pad to pluck hairs. The last unused sprites are in Space Dance. In it, there's some unused English letters that spell out the words punch, down, and right, which just so happens to be the 3 moves you can do in this rhythm game. So apparently, there was originally going to be English text telling the player what moves they can do in the tutorial that was later replaced with the words squat, lean, and punch written in Japanese. And so that's the development of Rhythm Tengoku. If you'd like to see more developmental goodness with full Beta64 episodes, check out my video on the complete development of Professor Layton, or Yoshi's story. But until next time, this has been Beta64. Thanks for watching.